By the way, this is the second rendition. In my first video, this should have been like me talking in the beginning. Just like I said in the first video, this is just kind of like a scrap review that I have for volume year 2, well year 2 volume 5. You go at me, and it's just like a bunch of old stuff I written down, old thoughts and everything. So just bear with me. Nothing was touched up or anything. I guess essentially hear my open thoughts and how I felt directly after finishing the volume. But with that being said, let's just get straight into it. Just wow. Classroom of the Elite has done it yet again. I believe when it comes to these expulsion volumes, it's impossible. They always does a perfect job. The last scene was just phenomenal. Originally, I was told that there was going to be a big moment where Sakura does something that is worthy of a top 3 moment of the show, and she did. I gotta give her credit. So I have to give credit to Flame for saying that he was right. This moment was top 3. However, I don't believe the moment belongs only to Sakura. The scene is just perfect, from Haruka's self-sacrifice to Sakura's understanding of the situation and AK's just cold and logical demeanor. Everyone's role played a part in making this scene absolutely phenomenal. But before I continue going on about this scene, let me talk about some other stuff let me talk about some of the other moments and developments that happened during this volume. For the most part, I was bored as of the beginning of the volume. This one in particular was not that interesting because it was just a discussion over the culture festival instead of the current test itself, which for me I found to be quite boring, like snooze fest boring. However, in the beginning portion of the volume, we have the classroom reveal of Kei and Ayano Koji's relationship, the person who was shocked and hurt the most from the exposed secret. And personally, even though I'm not really a Sakura fan, but here I truly kind of felt bad for her. We knew that Sakura I liked Ayano Koji this entire time. I'm pretty sure for the most part, when it comes to Ayano Koji being synonymous with a woman, they all thought it was going to be Horikita. However, it turned out to be Kei, which was a weird shocker to everyone. But this is definitely the worst case scenario for Sakura, I guess, considering the reputation that Kei has and Sakura had to feel awful that someone like Kei stole Ayano Koji from her. So I really do sympathize and empathize with Sakura and Haruko in that moment, when usually I'm never on Sakura's side. As for the next thing I want to comment on, I just want to give a little comment on the task itself. And also guess down in the comments below, I'm also curious as to what you all will have picked and decided for all 5 tasks, and I guess the why as well. So let me know down below. As for the first task, I agree with Horikita and would have picked the same person she did, but I want to do that if I was class A. If or since my option is to choose class A or class B, which is 100 or 50, it's go big or go home. So I'm picking class A, even if it is the tougher opponent. If I'm already in class A, then I might as well pick Ichinosuke's class because it is the easiest. Moving to the second task, I would have chose Kyoto. Why? Hokkaido got snow, which is terrible. I don't like snow. The choices are between the beach and Kyoto, and really at that point I wouldn't care which city we go to. It's just nothing with snow, essentially. I hate the cold. When it comes to task 3, I think option 1 or option 2 are the best, because someone getting a protection point, and if I'm keeping the same morality as Horikita, not wanting to lose a classmate, then I'm going for 3 random protection points, because at that point it doesn't matter who gets them as long as 3 people are protected. Task 4 is a quick one. I agree with the class's decision on the task. That's pretty much it. And finally, the last one, I'm down to vote against expelling, but if we do, then Sakura gotta go. It is what it is. Before I continue on with my thoughts on our class, let me peek into everyone else's class. Ichinosuke's class, I was surprised for Kanzaki. 1, to have that much dialogue in the volume to begin with. That's unheard of. And then 2, I know he feels like he is in a classroom full of losers and babies. So it was really interesting to see Kanzaki speak up like that, because we never seen anything like that from 1, Ichinosuke's classroom, and then 2, her right hand man, to even express such disagreement. It's just unheard of class B to be like that. As for Ryu's class, man, all I have to say, the combination of Ryuen, Hiyori, and Katsuragi, I can't lie, that's a scary trio. That is a force to be reckoned with. They are nice. I likes that. Lastly is Arisu's class, which did everything I expected them to do. There isn't much thought on it. Now back to our class. Koenji during this test did something for the very first time, because usually Koenji always makes me laugh with his antics and disagreements and just overall, I guess, perpendicular movements to our class. But for the first time ever, he actually made me angry. I was genuinely upset. we all know that Koenji was the abnormal one within the group, and whenever his selfish actions messed up with the continuity of the class, I always found it hilarious, I always found it funny, I never hated it. In this case, when he was upset about losing half of his private points, I was so pissed. I was so upset, because considering the severity of the test, are you really that petty to hold out on getting an unanimous vote because you're getting half of your money for the next 6 months taken away? I was so upset, but I was also laughing at the same time, because I couldn't stop laughing at the fact that I was mad at Koenji for the first time ever. So that was definitely pretty funny to me, but I was not liking Koenji at that moment. But I'm glad my girl Hori Goat came through to save the day once again, with her offering him a way bigger bargain than she should have allowed. I believe she decided to pay him all the way until graduation, which is wild when they could have just paid him up until the 6 months to get his money back. But hey, she got the job done. That's all that matters. But overall, there's just so much to talk about when it comes to this last task, and I can just sit here for a couple hours and explain so much, but I don't got time like that. So I don't care about a lot of the stuff that happened, nor do I care enough to do all that. So if you have any questions on my thoughts on particular parts of the volume or this task, just comment them down below, or you can, I guess, tweet at me. My Twitter is down in the description below. At least for the most part, there are a couple things I want to talk about. One is seeing the development of Horikita during this test, and every time she displays her newfound compassion, it's just, it amazes me. It amazes me to see where she was and how she is now. It's just beautiful. Her deciding that we are getting to class A without losing anyone is completely polar opposite of what she used to be, especially back in volume 1, where she thought Sudo was a nuisance for the class and was fine with him being expelled. But now she's going through the same exact thing Hirata went through the last time with not wanting to expel anyone. Also, I like Hirata's growth, because he doesn't still want anyone expelled, but in order for the greater good of the class, he would do it. But to try every other option before we get to that point. After Kushida, my goat, she was killing it this volume. Loved it. Loved every moment, all the fakeness. And then when she grabbed Ayana Koji, she had that man scared for his life. I loved it all. But after Ayana Koji told her secret to the entire class and she started airing out everybody's business because she thought her life was over at that point, I could not, and I repeat, I could not stop the laugh. However, I'm a bit disappointed at the information that was leaked. The information could have been a lot more interesting, and the scene could have been much longer. I thought it was way too short, and the information that was given out was just kind of meh. But overall, I was loving it. Absolutely, it was chef's kiss. Perfect. Lastly, as I started off with this video, the final scene was the expelling of Sakura, was just done masterfully. Pretty much, you couldn't do the scene any better. I don't know any way that Kinu could have done that scene any better than that. From Haruka being absolutely against Sakura being expelled, saying that's her best friend. Essentially, that's our only female friend in the entire school, considering that we've seen them grow so much together, and her crying about it and just being so vehemently against it. And then the Sakura stepping up and being like, hey, it's okay. No, actually take that back. To AK being like, hey, I understand, that's our friend, but she gotta go. And when Haruka looked at Ayana Koji and said, tell me with a straight face that you're willing to give up Sakura. And he was like, yeah, she gotta go. And he said that, well, he was about to say, I guess, essentially. And she stopped him midway. Bro, that scene, the way how stone cold Ayana Koji was in that moment was just beautiful. Because it was so contradictory from what he said to what he was showing. Because he was saying that he still likes Sakura as a friend. She's still a great friend to him. But his demeanor is just completely blank, and he's hell-bent on the fact that Sakura has to go because of a logical reason. And Haruka just was not trying to hear that. And then when it comes to Sakura, her realizing and understanding that, hey, he's right, I am the worst student in the class, so technically I am the weakest link, so I have to go. It, like, her self-awareness in that moment was just, it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. Definitely, this is a top 3 moment in Classroom Elite for me. Honestly, considering that this video has been made months after when it was initially created, I would say this probably has to be a top 2 moment. Because top 1, I don't think anything can pass that. When I'm looking back at all the moments of Classroom League, yeah, no moment I think can pass that, but this is definitely probably top 2. I think this beat out the rooftop scene for me. Oh wait, now think about it, the rooftop scene wasn't even my top. Actually, never mind. Now I think about it, this definitely is top 3 because I remember my top 2. I remember number 2, and then I remember my number 1. So yeah, this as far as it can go is number 3. Man, this volume was beautiful. It was phenomenal. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. And so I'm looking forward to what happens next. I'm looking forward to what Haruko's going to do, and seeing the final, I guess, transformation of Sakura at the end was really nice. I'm glad she was able to come into her new character. I think, you know, her character arc was finished at this point once she did that, and I think, you know, did the best writing decision to have her expelled, because once she would have revealed everything, it's like her character at that point would have had nothing to strive for. But overall though, this volume was great. I really enjoyed it. I'm pretty sure you all really enjoyed it, but that's pretty much just my thoughts on it, and I don't really have anything else to say. But I guess thank you all for watching. Like, comment down below what your thoughts on the volume and the video, I guess, and my thoughts as a whole. Subscribe to the channel for more Classroom League content, and I'm out.